Give me your thoughts on this Eagles victory against the 49ers.
Well, I mean, the Eagles did what they needed to do. They advanced to Super Bowl 57. And I mean, if you just look at the score, if you hadn't watched the game, you're like, oh my God, the Eagles just smashed the 49ers. Then when you look at the game into context, this should have been just an easy game for the Eagles to walk away with. And their path to the Super Bowl this year might be the easiest that I've seen in quite some time. And Kev, I mean, it was like you said in the lead up. Injuries were the primary factor why the 49ers lost this game. Brock Purdy goes out with an elbow injury. I believe it's his UCL. It's that ulnar collateral ligament. And depending on how severe the injury is, we could be looking at a lengthy rehab process for him. Hopefully, it works out to his benefit, where I think it's only a 6-week recovery process if it's just a sprain. So hopefully that's the best case for him. But yeah, once he went out, there was really no chance that the 49ers had to win this game. Just because when you have Josh Johnson fill in for Brock Purdy, I mean, Brock's off to a great start. Mind you, he's a rookie, and before this game, he hadn't really done anything to screw up the 49ers' chances at winning a game. But Josh Johnson, this guy has hit, 13 NFL rosters, and then he goes out with a concussion. I mean, they were legitimately thinking about putting Christian McCaffrey as their fifth string quarterback. They went back to Brock, and I think once Brock came in, I think he only threw one pass. I think it was like a small slip, like a slip screen, and that was it. They ran the ball every play from there on out, and all the Eagles had to do was stack the box and then just shut them down for 3 plays, and then the 49ers would punt. And all the Eagles had to do offensively was just not turn the ball over, and they played, I won't say conservative, but all they did was just limit the amount of plays where they could have potentially played with a turnover had they messed up an assignment, missed a pass, but they didn't. The Eagles played a pretty relatively solid game from beginning to end. Was it the most convincing win? No. They could have played a little bit better, but when you look at the score, 31-7, they handled their business. They did what they needed to do. Of course, the circumstances definitely played against the 49ers in this one, but the Eagles won't care about that. The Eagles did what they needed to do. That's why they're going to Super Bowl 57. And when it comes to the 49ers, it's a sad end to their season. Obviously, you want to be able to compete in this stage of the season, where you're potentially playing for a Super Bowl here. But once Brock got hurt, once Josh Johnson was out with a concussion, I know the 49ers won't say this publicly. They knew that game was over. Just with Brock not being able to throw the ball, I don't even think he was really even gripping the ball properly, just because I think, if I had to guess, at some point his arm was numb, or at least his hand was numb. He just wasn't able to really grip the ball effectively to be able to pass it. But, once you get to that stage where you're just running the ball and you're a one-dimensional offense, they knew. Even Kyle Shanahan, I think I saw a camera shot. It was about, I don't know, midway through the fourth quarter. You could tell that the writing was on the wall, and there was no legitimate shot that the 49ers were going to have to get back into that game. So it's just unfortunate for the 49ers. They're still a good team. It's just injuries plagued them at the worst possible time, and it just happened to be at the most critical position at the quarterback spot. And, unfortunately for them, they're going home. And it sucks because they couldn't even really get into a competitive space because Brock got hurt so early. But, I mean, with that said, the Eagles are going to Super Bowl 57. The Eagles have been a dominant team this year. I got to say, they look like a really well-rounded team here going to Glendale in 2 weeks from now. And they're going to be a tough out when they go up against the Chiefs when Super Bowl 57 kicks off. But good job for the Eagles advancing to Super Bowl 57. And it's just unfortunate with how things worked out for the 49ers in this game, with injuries just being the primary reason why they lost this game. So, Kev, the floor is yours.
I mean, I definitely want to identify, right? The way that I led this up, I don't want people to think that, the Eagles didn't deserve this, or that this was something that was luck, right? Injuries happen. No matter what anybody says, you still have to win the game, right? There could have been an instance where Philly takes their foot off the gas pedal. There could have been an instance where Nick Sirianni dials up a bunch of pass plays to try to blow this game open. There's a bunch of what ifs, right? Just like there are a bunch of what ifs on the 49ers side, because all you saw on social media was, if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, this is a different game. oh, if Josh Johnson doesn't get hurt, they were moving the ball. They were effectively. Da, 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 da. If Christian McCaffrey gets put in at quarterback, da, 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 da. What's the problem here? Injuries happen. It just happens to be that the 49ers got riddled with them in the worst possible way. No dirty hits, nothing that was unnecessary. These things happen. Is it lucky? Not really. Players got hurt. Did Philly benefit from these injuries? Obviously. Of course, the other team is going to take advantage when quarterbacks get hurt. It's like Kyle said, you become one dimensional. It's nobody's fault. You can't be mad at Eagles fans for being excited that they're going to the Super Bowl. You can't be mad if you hate the Eagles because they're going to the Super Bowl, because it's like, the Eagles didn't go out there and take Brock Purdy's arm and snap it off of a kneecap or on a wooden table and say, like, like, I hate you, we're going to win, or screw you, this is what we're going to do to win. Like, no, this happens. The Eagles capitalize. They're going to the Super Bowl, and they have a very well-rounded team. You can run the ball. You can pass the ball. They have a good defense. They have a great pass rush. They have a good coaching staff. Has their schedule been favorable? Yes. Have their playoff matchups up to this point been favorable in terms of the Giants beat an overrated Vikings team, and then they stomped them. And then the San Francisco 49ers get hurt, and then they stomped them. I mean, what? What are you going to say? Well, Patrick Mahomes on one ankle in 2 weeks. Well, like, I don't know. Elijah Mitchell didn't play today, so maybe that would have been different. Like, again, it all goes off of what ifs. The Eagles executed, took advantage, they won, they're moving on to Arizona. It is what it is.